I hope everybody will come out. I always say it, if you haven't been out, come out. I'll refund you. I think it's $2 tickets.
It is.
So I will refund your $2 if you do not have a good time while you're there. And I guarantee a good time.
Money back guarantee.
Absolutely.
You can't do any better than that.
No,
so
that's
good. Hopeful of a really big crowd. So we're trying to set a record, largest crowd ever in acrobatics and tumbling history.
Yes.
But we already hold the record, right?
We do, but we never settle.
Right.
So we want to break our own
up
record.
the record.
Yes.
Right. I love that. Okay, very good. What does the crowd need to be? What would you like to see on Saturday?
Numbers?
Yeah.
What does women's basketball bring? I mean, let's shoot for that,
yeah,
right?
right.
Yeah.
A little different in Foster, than it was at the Farrell Center.
If we had 3,000 people, that would be huge for our sport.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
Yeah. And because I think, what is the record? Do you have it? Do they have it anywhere?
I do not.
I think it's 2,000. Right at 2,000 is the record. But, I mean, I think the sport's getting more. I always joke and say we're going to beat women's basketball. That it might be a few years before we get there, but we can try. Some of the athletes were joking about we should, on April Fool's, say that there's a pickup men's basketball game. At Baylor men's basketball game at 5 p.m. in the Farrell.
Okay.
And then just not tell them April Fools, and then everybody would come, and then they'd be completely entertained for an hour and a half.
That would be good.
So I thought that was a pretty good marketing ploy. But I think, we've got 2,500, 3,000 people in the Farrell Center at a meet because, we only face that one side.
Right.
That would be ridiculous because our normal meets are so energetic. Like this one's going to be over the top.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. All right. So that's a good number to shoot for. And that's, at least that. Let's say that. So you may blow 3,000 out of the water.
Yeah.
Which would be fun.
Yeah.
April Fool's was earlier this week. Did around your office, any pranks going on in your office?
I think it was on Tuesday, unless they pranked me and I didn't know. But Tuesday is our day off of practice.
Yes.
So I didn't see them. I have no doubt that if we were there would have been some pranks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was Tuesday.
I will tell you that when I looked out my office window today into my practice facility, there was a fake Justin Bieber concert going on down there.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So you never know. I don't think that actually was an April Fool's. That was just a normal Thursday practice.
Okay. Was the fake Justin Bieber here?
He was there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Entertaining Thursday.
It was a great practice today too. So you never know. I don't get surprised anymore.
Yeah.
I just like, what, whatever is fun.
Very good. All right. I always like your assessment of your team. You want to start here and be ascending, as the season goes on and be at your best when you get to the Nationals. Where do you feel like you are on that trek this year?
We have not peaked, but I think we're on that trajectory. I think if we execute this weekend, everything that we have and everything that we have planned to execute, we'll be in good shape. But we still have more work to do before the national championship. We've been really focusing on execution. They're still getting new tumbling passes, still getting new acros and things like that. Constant competition within the team to get out there. So, that drives everybody to be better and better. So I think we're in a good place. But, we got to show up on Saturday and execute, and then we have work to do before we get to the championship.
All right. And last time you were here, you were saying you had really good competition, for spots this year.
Yes.
So you're saying this far into the year, they're still pushing each other.
They are. There's a constant battle for our 6-element acro. The second half of it particularly, but they call it the acro army. And literally everyone on the team can do these skills. And so it is a constant competition to get into the starting lineup, break into that top 28, or already in the starting lineup, get into that acro. So, they continue to just push each other.
That's
nice.
Great.
Yeah.
You got to love that, right?
Yes.
As a coach?
Yes.
And keeps everybody sharp. If your iron sharpens iron, if somebody's pushing you, you got to be better.
Yeah, got to be on your toes every day.
I love that.
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty good. Since the last time you were here with us, you passed a milestone. Your 100th career victory. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's huge.
Thank you.
And it was celebrated appropriately against Iona, so that was cool. The next home meet after you got the 100 on the road at Missouri State. What is that? It's a milestone. What does that mean to you?
It's cool. I knew that they told me I was going to get my 100th win this year, so they took some fun pictures. I hate getting my picture made, so I suffered through it, and they took some fun pictures. So I knew that it was going to be but I didn't think about it. And so, fun story, the actual 100th win was against Missouri State in Springfield, Missouri. And I didn't really think about it all day. And the team had decided they were going to, apparently, they had to talk to Treasure, and they had decided they're going to do some fun things.
Okay.
I had no idea. And so that day, I didn't really think about it. And before we go out for team event, it was a first-year program. Our start values were a lot different. So we were going to win the meet. So I said to them, let's go out and get a 100. I don't know if they thought that I realized it was my 100th win, but scoring a 100 in team event is a big deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they realize it or not, but this is the truth, and I feel stupid. But at the end of our routine, the team event, you know how they slap the floor and they say, sick 'em?
Uh-huh.
So I'm sitting there watching. They did a great routine, and they slapped the floor, and then they all pointed at me and said, 100.
Oh, that's great.
But I didn't get it. And so I just I was like, what? And I turned around to Kelsey and I said, I thought, and for the first 20 seconds, I thought they did that because I said, go get 100. So I'm like, those officials are never going to give us a 100 now because they just asked for it. So it took me standing up from my usual little perch and walking back toward the bench. And I was like, oh, it's my 100th win. So I thought that I felt dumb. I was like, but it was cute. I was like, okay, you guys got me. You got me. And then I thought it was done.
Yeah.
So little did I know, they had all plotted, and they ran, the parents that were there, they ran back to the hotel. My entire staff lied like rugs, lied to me the whole time.
Okay.
I had no idea.
For a good reason.
Yes, but I can't believe I didn't see it coming. So we get back to the hotel, and Treasure's like, hey, I got to ask you a question. Because all of the athletes, I didn't note it, were running past me to get to the meeting room. And Treasure's like, hey, come out here. Do you see the Steak and Shake? They're thinking about going to Steak and Shake. And I was like, okay, can we go to dinner? So I walked down to the meeting room, and they had it decorated, silly string, the confetti, the whole 9, cupcakes. So I was surprised again. So it was really cool. And then they did a video for me. Thank you for being part of that.
That was fun.
So then I cried, and then now we have a 24-month moratorium on surprises.
Really?
So no more surprises for me. But it was very cool. And I say that publicly, like, thanking all of them. It was amazing. And then I just couldn't believe they lied so well. So now I'm worried.
No, it was all for a very good cause. They normally, I know those folks, they would never lie. It was just for...
Treasure was lying like a rug.
Well, congratulations.
Thank
very
you.
cool.
Thank you.
Means a lot.
Yeah.
Means a lot to us, for you.
Thank
and I
you.
hope you feel celebrated with
Yeah,
that.
no,
That's
it was
cool.
wonderful. And did you see my wiener dog plaque?
Yes, I did.
So
very funny.
when we celebrated against Iona, they gave me a plaque of pictures shaped like a wiener dog.
Yeah.
Highlight of my year.
Perfect.
Yes.
That was perfect. Coach Felecia Mulkey, Baylor Acrobatics and Tumbling, our first guest tonight. We'll take questions from the audience next segment, okay? We've got a good group of questions already gathered. You folks, if y'all have questions, now's the time, okay? So get those up to us, and we'll get those in front of Coach Fee. Thanks again to our host here at Rudy's, proud sponsor of Baylor Athletics. Be sure to stop by your local Rudy's or Rudy's.com for some real Texas barbecue.
That's right.
Enjoy 100% oak smoked meats, delicious sides, and Rudy's signature sauce. Don't forget, Rudy serves breakfast tacos every day until 10 a.m. If only we had pickles for you tonight.
I will say, though, those breakfast tacos are something else.
They are very good.
Yeah, I will drive all the way down here for a brisket
Is
taco.
that right?
Oh, yeah. You can ask Jeff.
What do you mean all the way? From the Farrell Center?
No, from where I live in
From
Woodway.
home?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
gotcha.
we passed some more breakfast taco spots between here and home, but
It's worth the drive
these are
to
good.
Rudy's,
Yeah,
we would say.
It's
okay.
true. It's true.
All right, so Oregon this week, the Ducks, I think, ranked number 2. You're number 1. Give us a scouting report. How's it look for Saturday?
Well, we're going to win.
Number 1.
No. Oregon looks great per usual. It's so much fun always to go up against them. It always brings us to a new level. I think it brings them to a new level in competition. We just have to execute. I think their start values, what you're going to see, usually we are about 3 or 4 points ahead of them in start value going into the meet. Their start values are pretty similar to ours this year.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
really going to come down to execution, which is awesome because we're good at that.
Yeah.
So I know we're really pumped about it, and I think the team is mentally in a good spot going into it and ready. And it always feels good with the team when it's like, it's not, oh, I'm excited about the meet. It's like, get me out there, let me go. And that's,
cool.
I think that's where they are.
That's great.
Yeah.
Your former school, obviously, Oregon, any pangs there when you go up against Oregon, or is that kind of old news?
I mean, I really their coach is great. Her name is Taylor. I did not coach her. I recruited her there,
Right.
but I left before I got to coach her. She's a good human, and her staff. I have a lot of respect for them.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. I always do like to win against them, but no. I mean, there's
Gotcha.
I'm excited for them doing as well as they are this year, but I still want to outscore them.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's good. That's the bottom line. You've said that about 3 or 4 times, so that's good. One of the few schools you go up against that's not coached by one of your former student athletes. I mean, even Taylor, you recruited her.
Right. Yeah. That I don't know how many are out there now, but there's quite a few.
That's
We've seen
pretty
quite
cool.
a few this year. Jackie, the Iona coach, the Iona came down, and she was one of my former athletes at Kennesaw and at Oregon.
Oh,
she actually,
wow.
when I took the job at Oregon, she transferred
How
to
about
Oregon
that?
and finished out there. So, yeah, a lot of connections. Small world.
Yeah. How is that? Is that fun? I
It
mean,
is.
to know that you have helped grow the sport in that way. You've done it so many ways, but in that way that your former student athletes, are now coaching at other schools.
Yeah, it's fun to watch them live out their dreams on that side of the mat, if that makes sense. Because it's, for me, coaching's therapeutic, and so I see them find joy in that piece too. So I cheer for them.
Good. Are there any of those former student athletes now coaches that you look at and you think, I never thought that person would be a good coach?
Yes.
No names. All right, there's the end of that.
Yes, they're not from Baylor.
Gotcha, Courtney. That's not you. All right. So senior night this week, and that's it for the regular season.
It is, yes.
And then on to nationals, which are in
Sioux Falls,
South
South
Dakota.
Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you up there earlier this year, or was that last year?
Not this year, but
You've been there
last year we
before.
went. Yeah, it's a great school and a really pretty area. That's the first time I'd ever been there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Augustana is the school there.
Former Bear coaches there.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
So what's that going to be like when you look ahead a little bit to nationals?
If the rankings stay where they are now, and we stay 1, Oregon stays 2, then we would see 2 really good teams potentially. Limestone is the number 8 right now, so we would see them first if we remain in the number 1 spot. But I think it's fun to see different names in the top 8. Iona's in there for the first time. They're at number 6. Fairmont State is in there, ranked a little bit higher. Augustana for the first time is in there. I think they're number 4. So it's fun to see as the sport grows these different names. So I'm looking forward to it. I think we're in a good spot heading into it physically and mentally. So I think we'll be able to peak when we get there, which will be important. We're talking a lot now about the 3 days. If you can, in ours, it's you survive in advance, but there's no time in between. It's literally less than 24 hours later, you're doing it all again. So we're getting prepared for that.
Good. Are we in the rotation? Is the schedule set? Will we host again at some point?
I think whenever you tell them you want to host here,
It's
they'll
not
tell
me.
you. I think it is.
I think we should. I think we do a better job than anybody.
I agree. I think we host that first NCAA championship. I think that's what we
yes.
should do. Yeah.
That's exactly
Yeah.
right. Let's shoot for that.
Yeah, you put it out there in the universe. We'll get you in touch with the right people.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, me. It's not me. You're the one that's well connected. So give us an quick update on schools, additions, growth, NCAA.
So NCAA-wise, we should, as the end of the season hits, which will be this next week, all of the regular season meets will be over. We should kickstart legislation for NCAA championship status. We've had over 40 schools compete in at least 6 meets with 18 or plus participants. That was the check mark. And for the record, we got to 39 and a half last year. Basically, we had 40, and 1 school had to cancel because of a tornado.
Oh, no, really?
And that is why we did not get into legislation, and there was no precedent for that. There was no way to complete a waiver for it. So it was like, okay, we're at 39. So we're well over 40 this year. We're hitting it, and so that will kick us into legislation for NCAA status or NCAA championship status. We're already an NCAA sport, and that's a little bit of a process. It'll take it has to go through all of the votes and the legislative pieces. So we're there. And then as far as additions, I think we're at 56. I just said in the break, I got an email from another school that is adding, and I need to email them back. It just hit me. I got to do that tonight when I get home. So the growth, the momentum it continues, and there's all these changes in the NCAA, everything going on. Schools are still adding the sport. So, I can't wait I can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah, that's a great sign given the climate that we're in right now, in college athletics.
Yeah. And people, I think some of the bigger schools have hit pause because there was a lot of interest in a lot of Division I schools across the country. But even Division I schools that are not in that Power 4 conference, they're adding. Canisius just hired their coach. They've already recruited 20 athletes. Like this is the momentum is not stopping. The excitement about the sport is not stopping. And so even though there's been a little bit of a pause, we're growing through the pause.
Oh, tremendous. That's great. And saw y'all debuted some pretty cool new threads.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How was that received?
Our new unis.
Yes.
Is that what? Yeah.
Yes,
No, I think you guys liked them, right? Yeah. No, they were pretty pumped. You got to give Treasure's always out working the back end on that, trying to get some uniforms and stuff. So I will give her some credit for that.
Anthracite with gold. Oh, that's nice.
They look really good.
Yeah, that's a good look. Very good. You were indoors on Saturday, which is nice. Rain could be an issue this weekend. So if you're planning on going out to baseball and it starts raining, go indoors to the Farrell Center and be part of the all-time record crowd.
Yeah, right across the parking lot.
Easy to get there, right in there. All right, we got good questions from the audience. You ready for these? We'll start with Bob's questions. Attorney Bob, he's got some good ones for you. The roster limit next year will be 55 for A&T. How many scholarships will Mac Rhodes give you?
I don't know. I hope I'll find out on Monday. Right now, we are I know this is what I trust with Baylor, and I'm not just saying this. They always have done the right thing for the right reasons. That's why I'm here. So 55 roster cap. We're at 53 right now. Our max scholarship amount right now, and we're already equivalency sport. I know with these new rules, everybody may end up being an equivalency sport. We're maxed out at 14. Baylor did that before anyone else would do that. So I know if there's a will and a way, that MAC will do us right.
Yeah.
So that's just how I feel about it, and I have always lived my life. And the dude hasn't let me down. I keep waiting. He hasn't let me down yet, so I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to the question, but I feel like Baylor will do us right.
And Monday, April 7th, it really is a big day.
Yes, yeah. I think that's when a lot of the news and whatnot will come out.
Right,
yeah.
The House settlement, all of that. All right, another question from Bob also. The House settlement is $20.5 million. How much of that is going to acrobatics and tumbling?
I do not know. Another question that I will not know the answer to until after Monday.
Right.
This thing is so complicated and convoluted. I don't even pretend to understand everything about it. I think I know it very big picture. But I do know we're not a revenue sport for Baylor. I recognize that. We're very privileged to have the opportunity that we have, and Baylor takes really good care of us. But I know that, we're not bringing money into the university, so that probably has something to do with the revenue sharing and whatnot. So I don't know. Ask me that next time I'm on in a couple of weeks, and I might have a better answer for you.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Appreciate that. All right, another question. Why is the match against Oregon on the same night as the men's Final Four?
I'm not sure, but I bet you the Final Four marketing people are asking the same question because they're going to choose to come to the A&T meet.
You're impacting the Final Four.
100%. They're probably
it is in
mad
San
about
Antonio,
it.
right?
Yeah, I know.
People are making that decision right now to stay here for your meet. That's great.
And it's a shorter drive, so you should just come here.
Yeah, very good. All right, here's a great question. This is from, Justin Bieber.
I saw him today.
What is your favorite book of all time? If you can't pick one, what are your top three? And why?
Well, I love fiction. I love so Stephen King is my absolute favorite writer, and he's a horror writer, and I love true crime, so I'm always into that stuff.
Okay.
So I can't even tell you. If you come to our house, though, our entire wall in our living room is filled with books. Many of them Stephen King. Yeah, I read all the time. I usually have one going and then one that I'm listening to. And usually it's like a fiction, then a nonfiction that I'm listening to at different times. But I love, so my very first Stephen King book that I read was It. So if you guys have ever read that one, I read it when I was 16 years old, didn't sleep well, loved every minute. Oh my gosh, but I love every minute of it. But yeah, I'm not, and there's tons of nonfiction. I have all kinds of coaching books and leadership books and things. I recently read the 5 a.m. Club, if you guys have read that.
Heard about it.
Yeah, it was pretty impactful. But I love to read and just pull little nuggets out of everything.
Very good.
Yeah.
Is Jeff as big a reader as you are?
He has a whole bunch of books, but he doesn't read them all.
has books.
He doesn't finish them. I can't not finish.
I got you.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Good question, Beebs. Here's a question from Roy. How many players of the week has A&T had?
Oh, wow.
And can you name each one?
Well, I can name each one. So this year, Peyton Washington has been Athlete of the Week numerous times. I don't know how many times, but if she was an Athlete of the Week, honorable mention. Jordan Grenler, Specialist of the Week, multiple times, and she's the Specialist of the year last year. I think the past 2 years, actually. Nobody can argue with that. And then Levy McDonald is our redshirt freshman, and she's been Freshman of the Week many times, but all of them well-deserving. So I'm hopeful for some postseason awards for these kiddos as well.
I bet you're in line for that. Very good question, Roy. Thank you. Question from Roxy G. Can you tell us what the sideline is going to look like at Oregon?
You should know that Roxy G is one of my wiener dogs. She has big ears. She's fantastic, so she got in here today.
Roxy. Roxy and?
Roxy, Lilybug, and Felix the cat.
There you go.
But Felix is also a dog.
Okay.
So the sideline is going to be insane this weekend, I think. We always pride ourselves on it's not just the people who are standing on the floor. You know, you are lovingly called the peanut gallery if you find yourself on our sideline, and they're invested in it. So most of the time I don't know what they're going to do, but you see little hints of the choreography that's going on, the things they're thinking of doing. So you should all come to the meet and see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you should be
Sideshow in addition to the real show.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And my favorite thing to do is if you zoom in on the sideline when you're our team is on the floor, that's the entertainment. So record it so you can watch both pieces.
Yeah, we should have one camera just on the sideline.
Yes.
And it's a huge part of the atmosphere, too.
Yeah.
You know, the energy that they bring on the side. Yeah.
They are just having fun, which I love.
Good job, Roxy G. Final question. The tumble track in the practice gym, how do you feel? Or I guess that's who it's from. The question is from the tumble track in the practice gym. How do you feel about the rankings leading up to the championship?
I think they might actually be accurate this time. But the first ones that came out, I was like, okay. But honestly, lots of changes during the year, right? Like in coaching and whatnot. But, Oregon started out at 4, which I did not think that was accurate. I thought they were number 2 all year. Quinnipiac's at number 3. I don't know. They're doing okay, and that they'll be on the other side of the bracket. If everything remains the same, they'll be on the other side of the bracket. So we advance all the way through, we're going to see Quinnipiac or Oregon at the end. And if you ask my team, I don't know which one they would want to see more. I think we haven't seen Quinnipiac in a couple of years. Look at them. So
who do you say?
Quinnipiac.
Quinnipiac,
I think that's
really?
who they would want to see, yeah, because we haven't seen them in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So,
well, you're getting Oregon this week. So.
Yeah, so, I think the rankings are pretty accurate right now.
All right, very good. You know what? It's your world, and everybody else is just living in it. So whatever happens, it'll turn out great.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, we look forward to Saturday. Baylor and Oregon, 5 o'clock in the Farrell Center. Fill the Farrell on Saturday. Some surprises ready for folks who come to the meet. So good luck there, and hope you set the all-time record again on Saturday.
Well, thank you.
All right, Felecia Mulkey, Baylor Acrobatics and Tumbling.